Queens, BB here. Today I am going to show you how to do my daily makeup tutorial. So the reason I decided to do this video is because I have spent countless hours watching makeup tutorials. So I thought I'd share what I've learned and how I hide this. So obviously, as you can see, I have some under eye bags. Those ones are actually caused from allergies that I have. So kind of my fault and self-inflicted. And again, the acne, half of that was hormonal and half of that is definitely contributed by diet. So again, kind of self-inflicted there as well. So over the years, I have picked up quite a few good products to help to hide the inconsistencies in my face. So the first thing I did to start with today, obviously, is I washed my face. You always have to start with a clean base. So next I'm going to start with a bit of moisturizer. I like to use the Sunsense Moisturising Face and Neck SPF. You can pick this up from Chemist Warehouse. I haven't checked the price, but it's probably around the $20 mark. And that will last you about 6 to 12 months, depending how often you use it. This one's got an SPF 50 as well. So the foundation I'm using, that's got an SPF 10. And in the Australian sun, that is like putting a band-aid on a knife wound. So get yourself some sunscreen. It is a bit watery and it doesn't affect the stay of my foundation either, which is quite good. And it does dry quite well. This one actually smells like sunscreen, but it doesn't smell like crazy like sunscreen. Like, whoa girl, you got banana butter on. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait for that to dry. Okay, so next up, this little baby from Becca. This is my holy grail eye bag product. Okay, so it's kind of a pinky color. It is quite tacky. You don't want to use a whole lot. So I literally just rest my finger on top, spin it round maybe 10 times, and check this out. Am I right? Really lightly tapping. I can't remember what that reality show was called. It was on Hey last year, I think, and it followed the Victoria's Secret model. One of the Victoria's Secret models, she said not to carry it all the way to the top. I do, because everywhere, like all under here, literally turns into big black thick rings. So I need it everywhere. So it does say under eye very specifically, but I like to turn it around maybe 3 times again and just sort of cover up these gnarly veins up here. See? Pretty crazy. Can get it from Sephora. It is expensive, but this little tube I got in October last year and I still have so much left. It is such a great product and it is so worth it. This is the Real Techniques makeup sponge. I was using a much cheaper, just dodgy chemist cheap brand sponge. You can usually get it for about 20 bucks. This one came in a pack of 2 and oh my god, did it make a difference compared to the dodgy cheap chemist one. So just wet it a couple of times underneath the sink, give it a good squeeze, and then yeah, that really helps to blend it as well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is the concealer. So this is the Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Anti-Aging Waterproof Concealer from It Cosmetics. This is the best concealer I have ever used. I'm going to show you, you need the tiniest amount, and holy crap, this thing blends so well. So I'll show you how much I'm going to put on. I'm not kidding you, that's probably going to do my entire eyes and most of my pimples. I'm going to be very surprised if I need much more than that, to be honest. Probably going to need a little bit more for my pimples, but definitely not for my under eyes. Check this out. Crazy pigmented. So just do a very light application. As you can see, it is quite thick, so you don't want to build it up too much in one area, so make sure you're moving your makeup brush around, not staying in one spot too long. You don't really want to put any pressure on the sponge, you literally just want to kind of just gently tapping and bouncing off your under eye area, otherwise it's just going to actually pull that product back off, which is not what you want. So that's the first layer, so I'm probably going to come back and do another one in a second. Just wait for it to dry. That Becca cream, it does take a while to dry, which is a little bit annoying, so you don't want to go caking on product. Just do very light layers, just take your time. Okay, so now I'm going to do just the tops. With the top, you really want tiny amount. You're not trying to color it because remember your eyeshadows are going to do that and you're still going to put a lot of powder on top. So you just really want something just to kind of even out that skin tone and just give something the powder to grab onto. I used to use an eye primer, I don't anymore, but if I was to use one, I would probably go the Too Faced range because that's what I've used in the past and it worked really well, but I cannot remember what it's called. Okay, so there's a little bit of build up on the nose here, so I'm just going to blend that out. And again, remember you're going to put foundation on. The foundation that I'm going to use, the Estee Lauder Double Wear, it's literally like thick face paint. So you don't really need a whole heap of this concealer. You're not really trying to completely hide the pimples at this stage or the imperfections, whatever you're trying to hide. So this is going to last me so long. I'm stoked. Okay, so now I'm just going to gently tap on my pimples. Again, just being really gentle, just take your time and blend it out. These two products in themselves, I mean, if you have reasonably even skin tone and you're just looking to cover up a couple of pimples and some under eye bags, you could by all means probably just whack a tiny bit of this concealer on, a bit of under eye, and then just spray it with some hairspray, a bit of mascara, maybe a bit of blush, and you could probably go like that. You're lucky. I was actually supposed to put this primer on before, but brain fog. So I'm going to chuck a tiny bit on now. This is the Benefit Porefessional Pearl Primer, and I just get the mini sizes just because it's 20 bucks instead of 50. And usually when I do my makeup, I am quite a lot, and I don't like spending money on makeup. I like good quality stuff on my skin and how it looks, but I don't actually enjoy the pain part. So that's what I do. It does say this can go over makeup, but I've actually never tried this before, so we'll see how this goes. I think I'm just going to pat it around, and that should just help foundation just grab a little. But yeah, usually you probably should have started with this first. This one is oil-free, lightweight, silky, and soft pink, and my hand is shaking because I've had way too much caffeine this morning, and I'm going to have some more. What I've noticed with this one is it doesn't crease, but this little under eye cream, this creases. So before you put your foundation on, you may just need to just tap under your eyes a couple of times. Now, moving on to the foundation. So I like to use Estee Lauder Double Wear, Stay in Place, and then the rest is in French. I can't read French. This stuff does not budge. If you're really worried about it, if you really want an extra long wear, which is what I'm going to show you today, I put on like a layer and a half. So I'll do one layer and then I'll kind of do like an extra half layer just on my cheeks and oily areas. And then, yeah, you can pretty much wear this all day and it won't move, which is great. So I usually get the Bone 1W1, but I sent Josh to go get it and I wasn't there to double check on my own skin. And I got 1C1, which is Cool Bone. This one has a little bit more of a pink undertone, so I'm probably going to need to just use a little bit of bronzer on my neck. So again, this one, you need a really tiny amount. And remember, you can build it up later. So that's what I'm gonna start with. And this one does dry quite quickly and quite tacky. So again, you're gonna wanna make sure that you're using a wet sponge. I have tried using a foundation brush before. I just find that it dries a little too quickly. I have got some problem skin, so it could just be my skin. So yeah, that's why I prefer to just use the wet sponge. It just works better on my skin. I end up using a little bit more product, which is a bit depressing because this one is about $60. So yeah, it's not fun to buy. It's not a fun process, but every time I buy it, I always remember what the other foundations look like on my skin, and that's enough to sell me. And again, with this one, you kind of want to work a little bit quickly. You don't want to go rough on the skin because it will pull it off. You just want to blend just before it dries completely. I always like to start on my cheeks because for me, that's the area that I need the most product. But if you've got a more problematic T-zone, then you should probably start there. Okay, so as you can see, most of my skin is quite even, but I still have got just a little bit of how you're going on my cheeks. So that's when I'll kind of let it dry, and you can kind of see it creasing the Becca product and concealer just in my eye. So before I pop this on, I'm just going to blend that out. Because the longer you leave it to blend, the harder it is. And if it's hard to blend, you'll be tempted to use more pressure, which is going to take some of the product off, and then you're going to have uneven patches on your eyes. So it's just best as you're working to just do touch-ups and help it dry. So for me on my skin, I have a really prominent jawline. So I like to open my mouth really wide just so I can see that jawline and that makeup line and really make sure that's blended as well. Okay, now, so next, I have only recently tried this product and I think it actually works amazing, so I don't know why I waited so long. This one is the Becca Under Eye Highlighter Setting Brightening Powder. So it's kind of like a brightening powder, but it has got a little bit of backflash to it, so you're not going to really want to use it all over your face. And then I've just got a Sigma highlighter cheekbone brush, kind of buff it up a little bit, get out all the excess product. So you're going to want to wait to put on any powder products when all your wet products are done. Otherwise, what happens when you put wet products over powdered wet products? It's not a good look. It just looks really cakey, and I've made that mistake so many times, thinking no one will notice. And what do you know? People notice. Again, just very, very, very lightly tapping. Just gonna start on my eyes. Just gonna make sure these little creases are all gone and blended. So I like to use the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette. I've used this one as my go-to palette for going on close to 8 years, and it comes with a little booklet that tells you how to use them all the different looks you can do, which is really cool. With this one you can a bunch of looks. You can go for day to night, evening, date, kind of more dramatic, smoky looks as well. So I just like to use the Heaven, which is the white colour here. Tap, 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 tap. And then I just like to put that all over. I kind of like to pat it on for the first application when I know it's still wet. And then once I see a bit more of an even colour all over the lid, that's when I'll start gently blending it out. So I just like to do that one for the base, just to give myself just a bit of an all over natural colour. I'm going to use my little Too Faced eyeshadow one here just for Classic, which is this glittery pink one. I'm just going to pop this, tap it down on the inside of the eyelid here, and then you can start dragging, which is really going to pack down that colour. And I'm actually going to cover that up again, so I'm not really too concerned about the look of it. It's more just to give a bit of a brighter base for the colour I'm going to use over that. So you just kind of want to go where that crease is and where it bends, because we're going to be putting some dark products all in our creases. So next I'm going to use this angled blending brush. I'm going to go down here and go with some nude and sort of just find a line of where brow and eyelashes meet. Down there. And then cross like that, and then we'll blend. This part always looks the most ridiculous. It's really hard to imagine the final result. You've just got to kind of just focus on the individual layers and just don't freak out if it looks weird. Remember that you can fix it up later at the end. You're just kind of focusing more on just the base colors. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm just kind of bring this up just a little bit higher above the crease just to kind of blend this line out. Kind of go all the way to my brow and bring that line down through my eye. And that will just make the crease in my eye a little bit more dramatic. It's going to make my eyes pop a little bit more. It's going to carry, there's always a little bit of dust that just falls. I'm going to carry that underneath here. Cool. And you can kind of see a little bit of a difference there. The side's just kind of popping just that little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. And then make sure to make it even that you're looking into a mirror with the light straight on. Okay, cool. That's pretty much even. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to my Too Faced Life's Festival palette. And I like to keep this one in the box just because I like it and it's pretty and I'm a weirdo. But look at the packaging! So this one and this one I actually got from Cosmetic Capital. So these ones were limited edition releases that were just coming up from the last 2018-19 summer. And after that period ended, they all went to Cosmetic Capital and got sold super cheap. And I was super stoked because I also picked up this one from there. This one went there not because it was a limited edition, just because they've changed the packaging. And so they sent all the old packaging to suppliers that can sell it for cheaps, and all the new packaging is all in Sephora. So same product, same results, cheaper price. Ah, love it, it's so pretty. You don't really want to use the same brush on the same colors and then go back and forth, because it's just you're gonna get uneven color and yeah, not a good look. So try to keep your brushes for each product. If you absolutely need to, just try and remember which side is which for which color. So I'm gonna pop this one away and I'm gonna grab this one, which is pretty much the same, just a different brand. This one's a Morphe one. And I'm just gonna go in here and grab Euphoric, which is a pink with a lot of gold in it as well. And I'm just gonna go in the middle here. And I'm actually gonna drag this color all the way to the middle. So you can see the difference of when I'm patting and when I'm pulling it on. Yeah, baby. When you pull it, that's when you really get the color. When you put it on like this, you're gonna get all the creases and it's not gonna sink into the creases. So make sure you've thrown your head back and you've really got those eyelids tight and crease free. I like to just carry it down in through the inside corners here. Again, you don't have to stress, you can always touch it up. So focus more on getting the eyes even. Cool. So now I'm going to switch back to my Too Faced Natural Eyes palette. I'm also going to grab this little Too Faced blending brush, and I'm going to grab Push Up, which is a glittery brown. It's really nice actually, I love this. Tap, 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 tap. I'm just going to go sort of on the inside to the middle. And you can see, because I'm using a blending brush and not a packing one, it's not going overly glittery like the inside is. And then I'm just going to do the other side. So now when I've got this open, I'm going to use Honey Pot, which is gold, and I'm just going to pop that one in the middle. Cool. And then I'm going to grab this little liner brush here. I'm going to grab a Sexpresso, and I'm actually going to go underneath the top of my lid, right on my lash line, and that's going to build my lash line up to look a lot more thick. Cool. So now I'm just going to go in and grab the Cashmere Bunny and the Blending Too Faced one. Just slightly a little bit darker than the nude. And I'm just going to go one more in the corners here, just to really define that crease. And I'll just take it a little bit under as well. And now lastly, I'm just going to grab a little bit of that Silk Teddy Pink and just take that inside and under. Give my eyes a bit of brightness. There you go. So that's pretty much my eyes done. I'm just going to make sure this is blended out nice and evenly. This side can use a bit of love. I'm going to do my eyebrows. So first of all, I've just noticed I've got some powder underneath my eyes, which are making my eyes darker than what they really are. Dust them off. I'm just going to put a little bit more brightening powder on top. Cool. So now the eyebrows. This is just a crappy old brush I've had for way too long, and I really need to get a new one. But I'm just going to brush my eyebrows out. Sort of like to brush these middle parts here up. So yeah, even just that, just giving it a simple brush to get some of the makeup out, really helps to just give it a bit of shape as well. I don't really have any brow specific products, to be honest. I probably could, and I probably would look a lot better, but I spend so much on makeup already, and it's really depressing. I'd so much rather spend that money on vitamins or specialists that are actually going to help my skin so I can not have to wear makeup. But it's a trap. Okay, so that's kind of done. So now I'll go in here and I will just grab some of the Cashmere Bunny. That kind of gives like a bit of a red pigment, so just be warned that one is better just for lightly building layers, or if you've got very light colored hair. I just like to use it just to kind of build up some volume in those areas that are really lacking, which are usually the ends, and just give it a bit of even color. See? Now I will grab some of the Sexpresso, which is the darkest one. You just kind of want to brush it on the sides there, give it a really good tap. And this is where it gets tricky. This is where you got to really concentrate. So you just kind of want to go the outside lines. You don't want to go here and do like a square. You just kind of want to start where you need the most product, which is, for me, it's on the point. You just kind of want to do just on that line where you've got hair. You don't want to go above it. You don't want to go below it. Just literally right on it. And then over here, I'll kind of build it up a little bit more just to kind of define that point. And then just make sure that you're really blending excess product through the brow. And see how I kind of stuffed it up over here? We'll blend that later with that brush. You kind of just want to do very light strokes and move in the direction of the hairs as well, especially when you get around to this front part, because you don't want the eyeshadow to replace your eyebrows. You just kind of want it to look a little bit fuller. And we'll just blend that color through, really get rid of any excess product that you have in there. And there you go, so much better, hey? Again, I'm going to do the same thing over this side. This eyebrow is actually already quite thick for me. I don't really need to fill it up with the other colour. I'm just going to jump straight in with the dark. And there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some of the powders, and I like to finish with mascara last. Any powder that you put on your face is going to fall onto your lashes. You want your lashes to be black, not coloured, unless that's the look you're going for. So I'm using the Natio pressed powder in Bisque. I have tried a lot of pressed powders in my time, expensive but not expensive, and this is by far the best powder I've ever used, and it costs about 23 bucks from Chemist Warehouse, which is pretty good. So again, just a very light layer. Your foundation has already given you colour, so you're not really looking for more colour. You're just looking to set that product. Okay, so then what I'll do is I will just take some of this powder as well and my highlighter brush and just kind of fill in that under eye area. And I'm going to pat it down later, so you really don't want to use a lot right now, otherwise it'll be too much. Cool. So now I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Aurora Palette Glow Kit, and I'm going to use a combination of Lyria on my cheeks and then Eclipse, and then I'm going to use a little bit of that under my cheeks, on my nose, my forehead here, my cupid's bow and my chin, and then I'm going to go in with some Luna just around my brow bone just to really make that pop. So first we go in with Luria, and this one you can really build quite easily, which is good. I kind of just like to pat it under the eye as well, just to kind of remove that line. That's very much, hey, this is my highlighter. My cheeks have glitter on them. Okay, so now I am going in with the Clarins Bronzing Duo. This is a little one that my mum gave me. She just got it for free in a sample pack, and I actually really love this one. I was using the Hoola Benefit, which is good, but because this one's two-toned, I prefer this one on my cheeks as my kind of contour, and then I'll use the bronzer by Benefit as a bronzer. So this one I like to use the contour. So I'll kind of rub it on like this, and then that way the brightest is on top and the darkest is at the bottom, which is what you want with contour, because obviously the darker areas, it's going to make them like that. So now, a bit of a trick with contouring and bronzing your cheeks. That's how I used to do it. No, that just looks weird. What you need is not here where the gap is, but on your actual bone. So suck it in and see where your bone is, and instead of going down, I'm gonna go across the actual cheekbone. Just on the bone, just underneath it. You wanna go a little bit down here as well. And I just kind of like to carry it down just through here a little bit, and then I'll do my cheeks again. Now I will do my blush. So I was using a Clarins one, which I really like. I've just started using the Dandelion by Benefit. Again, this is the mini one, which I actually think is a perfect size for blush. I don't know if you'd end up using, this is the big standard size, and that's the mini size. I don't use a whole lot of blush, so I don't think I'd need much more than the mini size, which I think is about $26, I think, from memory. So when you're doing your cheeks, you really want to smile and make those cheekbones, and you really want to be big, because you got to remember that when your cheeks drop and sink back down, it'll make it look like you're just rosy cheeked and happy all the time. Then you kind of just want to carry it out a little bit. I like to put a little bit on my nose, and then I'll just go over with my powder brush again all over my face. That sounded weird. I said that really weird. All over my face. So, just gonna stop while I'm ahead. And I just like to go a little bit over the highlighter just so it's not so in your face like bam. Now I'll do the bronzer. So you can see that because I went for the slightly more pink undertoned foundation, that it is a little bit more pink next to my very fair yellowish undertoned skin. So what I'm going to do is going to use the contouring brush. I'm just going to very gently sort of drag that down my neck. Now you can kind of see the foundation is really grabbing to where I have left it unblended. It's still got a little bit of dampness to it, so I'm just going to go through where that makeup line is. Really blend it out. My straps are falling down. Risque. Cool. Now I'm just going to go in my chest a little bit and my shoulders and just really make that even. Make me look like I've got a bit of a tan. Cool. Now I'm going to go in and just do under my eyes really quick just to pack in that bit of powder colour. You can kind of see the kind of uber white compared to the rest of my face. And this will really just give a last little boost to hiding those eye bags as well. See? Cool. Now we are almost done and we go in with the mascara. I like to use Benefit their Real Mascara. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that Kylie Jenner wears this one. So one mistake I see quite a lot is girls will put on a whole heap of eyeshadow like I just did, and that is all fallen onto my eyelashes. So if I just went in and put black here, I would have black underneath here, and then almost completely white eyelashes at the top, which looks quite strange. So you might want to just put a little bit on the top as well. And this one, this brush head, it's got little bristles all around the top as well, so it's a really easy one to get underneath and in those little tiny crevices. So I'm just going to do a light layer on the top just to kind of get that excess product out, because I don't want a lot of product on the tops of my eyelashes. I just want to make sure they're black and an even colour. And then when you do it, you kind of just want to wiggle the brush as you go, and that will really separate the lashes. Cool, so that's pretty much my face done. I'm just gonna go grab a little makeup wipe just so I can wipe the product off my lips, and then I'll do my lips. And then I'm not gonna give you a hair tutorial today, but I will show you the finished look with my hair just to show you how important it is to style your hair and how much of a difference doing your hair makes to your makeup. So after taking off the product, I always like to prime my lips a little bit just to really hydrate them. The makeup wipe and the foundation is really going to dry out your lips, so then that's really going to make any product that you put on top of that really cakey, and it can kind of make them give like the bleeding look, which is not fun. So I chuck this on just while I'll style my hair, and then at the very end I'll come in and just whack on some lippy. So yeah, for my lips I'm just going to finish with Rimmel London All My Gloss. I don't know what colour it is. I'll find out and I'll put it in the link below, but just a really nice natural pink. And there we are, all done. I hope you enjoyed today's makeup tutorial. Like I said before, I really don't know what I'm doing, so if you've watched this far, thank you for being patient with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like down below if you liked it. If you have any suggestions, feedback, comment at all, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. Or like I said before, you can message me. Always reach out on social media. You can ask me any questions when it comes to makeup, any of the content I put up. Also with my entire endo journey, I'm an open book. So if you have any questions, feel free to come at me. If you want me to do more of these, let me know. I've got a heap more colours in this Too Faced palette that I really want to play with, especially this nice teal down here. I really want to do something cool with that. So yeah, I'll probably have a play around with those in the next week. So if you want me to put those ones up as well, let me know. Just want to say as well before I go, thank you so much to all of those who are tuning in every week to watch my videos. I'm pretty nervous about putting myself out there still, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it, and it's really nice getting messages back from you saying that you watch my stuff. It's weird, but I like it. I like hearing that you like my stuff, and I'm helping you to be happy and positive and be a bit proactive with your endo journeys as well, because it was definitely something that I needed help with last year, so I hope I can be that person for you. Slip, slap, slap. Oh, that was terrible. Oh, I'm sweating, by the way. It is so hot in here. So this is going to be really interesting. Ooh. I'm just so hot, you know, just heating up this room here with my eye bags, and stop it. I know you can't resist. How embarrassing. So I've got a sponge. This one is, can't remember the brand name. Bloody stoked, mate. I mean, these two products in themselves. I mean, if you have genuine I'm gonna go down here and go thumb nude. I love this one. So these. Don't get the powder in your eye like I did, because it really hurts and then your eye waters. This is just the old brush. Ooh. Oh god, I've got crap everywhere. Love a bit of sass. You can never have too much sass in your life, ladies. So now I'll do the bronzer. So I've got a fly buzzing around too, so yeah. We don't have fire screens on our house. Apparently we live in the Middle Ages. Benefit, they are real